Queer lit, no chill. Some crumbs of academia, mostly chaos. If queer lit is your love language, we're fluent. Heads up, babes, we're not here to tease. We spill everything. Listener discretion is strongly encouraged, but honestly, you knew that. Welcome to Cliterature, the podcast.
We're so excited to meet you. We're like geeking out. We've been sitting for like 30 minutes. We're just like, when's it going to happen? Oh my God.
Thank you.
Well, welcome to Cliterature, the podcast.
Thank you. I'm really glad to be here.
I'm Dee, by the way, in case.
I'm Haley.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi. It's nice to meet you.
So yeah, thanks so much for joining us. We really enjoyed the book and talking about it. We had a really great time. I think that so far has been my favorite episode to record and to listen to. I guess we can get started. Do you have any questions for us before we kind of jump into it?
I don't think so.
Cool. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself other than what we know from the book?
So I have been a published author since 2014. Some people don't know I actually started out writing male-female romance originally before I had my own sexual awakening. And
I was going to ask. I was really wondering.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sapphic literature was actually like, a huge part of that. And so I kind of dipped my toes into writing sapphic fiction, first with fan fiction. Isn't that everybody's story?
Yeah.
Although I was already published when I started writing fan fiction, but it was my first foray into sapphic. And then, I wrote as I was writing my first sapphic novel, I was like, am I queer enough for this? But once I fell in love with the genre, it's like, it's like that first book, I drafted the whole book in like a week. Because I don't know, it just felt like this is what I'm supposed to be writing. Right? Yeah. You find that thing and I'm just like, it
just kind of pours out of you very quickly. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, well, this is it. I have now found the thing that I want to do and want to keep writing. So yeah, and the rest I guess is kind of history. I've been writing sapphic ever since.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. So do you plan to diversify, or is this kind of where you're most comfortable?
I never say never, because when I started in 2014, I never would have seen myself here. So who knows in 10 years where I'll be.
It's going to take you. Yeah.
Right now I can't imagine not being here writing sapphic romance.
Well, we're very happy that you are. So.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
We both write some. Yeah. So it's one of our things that brought us together, along with our love of books. Mm-hmm. And we're always very interested in hearing about a writer's process. You write chronologically? Do you outline? If you don't mind sharing a little bit about what that looks like for you.
Absolutely. I do write chronologically. Sometimes I'll go back and add or delete a scene, but I can't write out of order. It's just not, it's not how my brain works. Yeah. I'm loosely an outliner. I know there are authors who outline like every chapter, every scene, like whose point of view each scene is going to be. I don't know anything that detailed, but I know all the major plot points, all the big turning points, the big conflicts, what they're going to have to overcome at the end to find their happy ending. And I have I'll have like 4 or 5 pages of like bullet points of all the things I know need to happen, little like scene ideas, or just I need to mention this bit of her backstory, that kind of thing. And then as I go through, I open up my outline and I change each bullet point to a different color as I do it, so I know what's done and what's not done, because they don't go in order. Gotcha. So, more of the stuff from the beginning of the outline goes in the beginning of the book. And then when I get to the end of my first draft, I go back to the outline and I say, okay, how many things did I not use? And do I still need them or not?
Right, yeah.
Sometimes it ends up, I'll have thought, I really need to write a scene where like she does this. And then once I'm like, actually, I didn't need that at all. But
yeah, something that seems very important at the beginning as it kind of grows organically.
Mostly I find like bits of like backstory and stuff that I didn't put in yet. And so I make myself a note to add that in.
Yeah. Speaking of backstory, we loved how much art and ceramics was in Learning Curves.
Yeah.
How much research did you do, or do you have a background in art or ceramics?
No, I have no background in art. This book, I really think, involved the most research of anything I've ever written. Yeah. I had to research academia. I had to research art history, women in art, pottery making.
Did you take a ceramics class? We want to take one now.
I did, and I really recommend it. It was so fun. It's also really hard.
Yeah, it is really hard. She's done it with her dad. I've never done it, but I feel like it's a lot harder
centering than the clay. Like, while it's the hardest part. It's one big, like, blob in the middle of the wheel. Getting that centered, because, like, it's as it spins, you see it wobbling, and they're like, you have to keep pushing on it until there's no wobble. And I'm like, oh my god, like, I'm sitting there, the rest of the class is like, moving on, and I'm over here like, and mine's still wobbling, and I'm like, help. I can't get it.
I think I need to go to the gym more before I
know. It takes a lot of like forearm strength because you got to really push on the.
Yeah. Well, it came through because everything about it, I was like, this felt like I took a little bit of an art history class.
That's true.
It was great.
I've heard that from a lot of people, and that was like really validating for me because my biggest fear was, having it not feel authentic because it's really not my knowledge base. But in addition to all my research, I also had beta readers from all the different things. I had like a college professor and someone who knew some art history and someone who's British and someone who knows the pottery wheel, and I had all of these people read and mark me up, and
that's fantastic.
That's really good.
Yeah,
because
it definitely translated. I felt like you just knew about it. I'm like, maybe she has an art degree.
I was like, exactly.
No.
We did talk a lot about the pottery scene. I think that was a good one for both of us.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It also included my favorite line, which I've been dying to ask you about.
Yeah.
Because I read the book, and she a lot of times will read and listen.
Yeah.
For when we're preparing for an episode. And so I only have how it sounded in my head when I read it. So our favorite line is when Michelle is seeing Audrey's home studio for the first time, and she just says, now I'll know where to picture you. And it just seemed like it just kept going. Like it just kind of skipped over that. But I laid the book down. And I was just like, ma'am.
Picture me.
And I remember Audrey had a little internal reaction to that, right? Like, she thinks about me when we're not,
But if I was Audrey, I probably would have like fainted, maybe.
Right?
So was that like? Tell me about that line when you wrote it. Was it as influential for you writing it, or was it just a line? And it was just me.
I don't think I had thought about it more than just, I love to show those little moments where they just have that real, and especially because this was fairly early in their relationship or, working relationship where, Michelle had tried to be super professional with Audrey up until that point. And that line was like one of the turning points where Audrey was like, wait, like she thinks about me when we're not at work, So I do think that was kind of important, even if I didn't spend a lot of time on it.
It felt more of like, did she mean to say that out loud? Like that would have been like one of those things where
I think it was kind of like that for Michelle, probably because she was so focused on keeping it professional at that point.
Yeah. We also really loved their Audrey, especially her communication style. I felt like
that was so great.
It read very healthy, and I was like taking notes as far as how to communicate with a partner. I love
writing characters like that. I know it's like, and people are like, but it's not realistic because like most of us in real life are like, we're not good communicators, right? Like miscommunication is actually super realistic. But as a reader, I find it so frustrating to read. And I, even though that we are messy and terrible at talking in real life. I mean, most of us are. But I don't know. I feel like the older I get, I just want to show people talking things through like rational adults. And I don't know. And Audrey is obviously the younger character, but that just felt like that's just who she is. Like she just is a communicator, and Michelle's very like, buttoned up and stiff and British, and she's just like, and the way she was raised with her family is very kind of like they don't communicate, so she doesn't communicate, and she had a really toxic marriage, and now she's just like, her like knee-jerk reaction to everything was just kind of like hold it in, and Audrey was like, no, let's talk it out.
Also so healthy to be like, let's take a break though. Like, I see that you're overwhelmed. Why don't you go take a shower and then we'll talk about this after? Everything about it.
She didn't make it a big deal. It just felt very natural. And I was like,
well, and that just goes to show like how they're kind of, how good they are together, even before they're together, right? That they just balance. They know what each other need.
Yeah. It was so fantastic.
Yeah. I did honestly drink way more tea while I was reading that book as well. I had to like purchase tea. Now I have like a whole tea set up.
That was one of those things I didn't plan in the outline. just kind of happened. Like, I just kind of had like Michelle with the teacup, and I'm like, ooh, and Audrey can make her a teacup.
Yeah.
A whole thing. And then like Michelle's tea just took on a life of its own with like the new blend that she brought in every day, and the afternoon tea in her office. It took on a whole life of its own.
I also thought it was really sweet how thoughtful she was with the tea, like picking it out to bring for their like tea time. So I thought that was a really cute moment. I loved how there were a lot of moments about inclusivity, especially with adaptations into college with the transcription software, and then the, you know, gender neutral bathrooms and stuff, and then the inclusion of the Halloween party. We thought that was so really much fun to read. Nailed it with the Ann Lister costume.
I totally geeked out.
Yeah, totally. When I got there, I was like, there could have been no other costume.
That really, once I thought of it, I was like, well, duh, it has to be. And then Audrey, I was kind of drawing a blank, and I think I actually put a call on my social media, and I was like, hey, inspire me with some Halloween costumes. And someone suggested and showed me a photo. I think it was of herself with the fake leg in the half of the legging or whatever. And I was like, oh my god, like that is so Audrey, like we're doing it. And I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but it's in the acknowledgments of the book.
Nice. That's awesome. I think another one of my favorite moments was the moment with Kaylee, the girl at the Halloween party who was kind of off to the side and very shy. Yeah. And as someone who's been Kaylee at
I am Kaylee also.
Yeah. I really thought, like, I think I teared up a couple of times, especially at the end when she was like dancing and having such a good time. And the way Audrey just made it feel so natural. Yeah. To just like, it was no big deal. That was super sweet. And I loved that moment was included in there. So thanks for that.
Thank you. I really enjoyed writing that in too.
When you get finished and you're done, like with the first draft and everything, do you like to just step away or work on another project, or do you come back to it fairly quickly? Or
I would like to. Earlier in my career, I used to do that because, you know, the advice I was given when I was taking classes before I was published is, you know, set it aside for a month, you know, and I do think still that probably would be great, but with my current deadlines, I can't do that. If I'm able to set it aside for a few days or a week, that's great. But the publisher that I'm with right now works really fast. When they buy a book for me, they want it like chop, chop, chop. And I and this book is for that publisher, and I really can't set it aside.
Yeah.
I have to just keep on going.
Did you have any specific inspiration for what got the idea for this book going, or did you start with maybe a character? Or
I had an idea in the back of my head for this former student teacher turned colleagues dynamic that had been simmering in the back of my head for a while. I don't know where it came from, but I kept like pushing it aside because I'm like, I don't know how that would work, and it's not really in my wheelhouse. And but my editor asked me, you know, for an idea of what I would like to write next, and so I pitched that, just literally the one sentence. I'm like, well, what do you think of this? And she said, yes, but can one of them be British and wear tweed? And can one of them be an art history professor? And I was like, done. Yes, I can definitely work with all of that. And then, so when she gave me the go-ahead, I went on the website of our local university and just started browsing art history classes. And I saw a class called Women in Art. And I was like, ooh. Interesting.
Yeah.
So that kind of started that plot bunny. And originally my editor had asked me for like a sexy painting scene, but at the time I had just finished writing The View from the Top, where one of my characters is an artist. She's a painter, and I'm like, I don't really want to write another painter back to back. So I was like, what can I do instead of painting? And then I was like, pottery wheel, that scene from Ghost, like sorry, my cat just like
no, you're fine.
I didn't know he had come into the room, and something touched my leg. Of course, it's the cat.
Yeah, her dog did that to me earlier, so it's fine. Yeah, the pottery scene, I think, stands out pretty well in the book.
It was fantastic. Yeah. Also, I loved all of the spice, but I think one of my favorite scenes was Michelle's self-love scene. I was obsessed with it. I was like, Dee, we have to talk about it. We have to talk about it.
She was like live texting me when she was reading it. So.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we don't get enough of that, honestly. I mean, we got to destigmatize masturbation, number one. And number two, I don't know, like, it was just so beautiful and, like, feminine. You know what I mean? Like, it was just so feminine and like rediscovering your body. I feel like all women have been through that at some point. You know, it was just so beautiful.
Yeah,
I loved it.
I liked that about it too.
Yeah.
And it kind of showed too, you know, with her like very reserved personality. She's like, oh wait, is this why I'm feeling all like restless after I got home? You know, like, because she was not at all ready to admit that she was attracted to Audrey. So
I remember when she like imagined the ring and the hair, and I was like, oh
yeah.
Well, we know where this is going.
And then it had such fun in the scene in Audrey's office when she looks at Audrey's hand and sees the ring, and she completely like
flips
gets
out,
flustered and freaks out, and is like, "Oh my god, no!"
But we needed that. We needed that because when they
she needed that.
But like when they actually do get together, I mean, you showed all of her insecurities in that scene by herself, so we expected it and we're like prepared for it to happen when she was with Audrey. And I feel like otherwise it kind of would have been like, I don't know, jarring for her to be like, I don't know what's happening, but like having her go through all of those emotions and like hearing the backstory of why she was insecure and like what her wife didn't do to her, but I guess perpetuated in her mind, you know.
Yeah.
I think we all want to have a few words with the ex-wife.
Yeah. Oh my God. A friend of ours listened to the episode and I call the ex-wife a bitch because she leaves her cat.
Yeah,
that was a hard moment.
I was like, she left her cat.
Yeah.
Who leaves their cat?
Right.
And a friend of mine texted me and she was like, I love the episode, but I'm a little triggered because I left my cat with my ex-girlfriend.
Oops.
I was like, oh my God.
But also, why did you leave your cat?
Yeah, who leaves the cat? I was like, I still didn't buy it.
If you break up, someone's got to keep the cat. So I guess, you know, there can be a situation where it's not bad. But in this case, it was Kelly's cat. And then, you know.
It wasn't even Michelle's cat.
Yeah, she just ditched it with Michelle.
I love how she thinks the cat doesn't like her the whole time.
Yeah.
She's like, we don't get along.
And Audrey's like, do you touch her? That's a metaphor in and of itself. Do you touch the cat?
I can't with you sometimes.
Sorry.
This is what
I actually did not even have that in my head while I was
leave it to you.
It's layered.
I'm never going to think of it any other.
Why doesn't Michelle touch the cat?
Oh, good.
And I thought I had a dirty mind.
You should hear what doesn't make it on the episode.
Oh my God.
Those outtakes are going to be spicy one day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have, when you're writing the characters, do you do like a whole, you know, character portrait? Do you like to figure out all the little intricacies of them? Or does that kind of grow organically as you're writing for the most part?
A lot of it comes as I'm writing them. I'm still like kind of an old school like Pinterest inspiration board kind of person. And I love to find photos that kind of inspire me. Sometimes it's like an actual like celebrity or whatever. And sometimes it's just like a random photo I found on Pinterest. And I'm like, oh, that kind of looks like what I have in mind, you know, and I use that as kind of my visual inspiration, but a lot of their little intricacies, some of them I have an idea of, and then sometimes I don't, like Michelle's tea. Like, I think I maybe had it in my head that she drank tea, but like, I definitely didn't envision it being such a thing, and with all the different flavors that she was going to bring in, and so.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that it happens organically. I'm very much a Pinterest board person. I like to have those visuals. Otherwise, I'll change their hair color.
Well, sometimes I do, or eye color, and then I have to go back and be like, wait, what did I say? Someday I will be an organized person who keeps like a story Bible and writes all that stuff down. Yeah. Because anytime I come back to like a world and I'm like, I have to go back and reread the last book because I'm like, I don't remember how old are they? Actually, I'm in the process of like updating some covers and coming up with like remembering like what everybody looked like and how old they are and like eye color and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't remember. Some of them I remember, and then some of them I just really don't.
Yeah. So. Well, speaking of revisiting worlds, your new book is set in the same college, right?
It is, yes.
Okay. So can you give us a hint if we're going to see Michelle or Audrey? Or
you will see them again.
Yay!
And there's a scene that everyone's going to hate me for, but it's all going to be fine. I promise.
Thank you for the reassurance. I would pay.
Everything's going to be just fine. I am me, and I'm always going to give everybody a happy ending.
I love that.
Yeah. I did like the end scene where they're like making out outside the college and Gia from the Pride Coalition's like, carry on, but yeah. I really love that one. That one stood out to me too.
Yeah. Also the epilogue.
Ma'am.
Thank you. Excuse me. But
who's wearing the tweed now?
Who's wearing the tweed?
I know. That was like,
they switch.
That was maybe the first epilogue, like spicy epilogue that I wrote. And then a Margin of Error actually is also. So yeah, maybe
yeah, okay. Good.
Yeah, maybe that's my new thing. I don't know.
I love it.
I'm with it.
It's like a nice little bow on top of a fantastic thing already.
And that's coming out early February, right?
Yeah, February 3rd. Yeah.
Nice.
That's
just
exciting.
in time for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, it's probably going to sneak up like with the holidays. It'll be like right now it feels like so long and then I'm blinking.
Yeah. Like Thanksgiving is next week? Is it next week?
Yeah. And I'm hosting, so I have a lot of cleaning to do.
Yeah.
Do you still write fan fiction?
I don't. I mean, never say never, but I haven't written it in a while.
What was your
handle?
Yeah. Well, not handle, maybe. But like, can we find it?
You can find me if you want. I used to have it on my website, but I think I took it off because no one was really looking at it anymore. It's Crescent Moon 223.
Okay.
And my fandom was mostly the X-Files. I
mean,
you know.
Okay.
Dan Scully was, probably a big part of my sexual awakening.
Yes.
Same.
And then my ship is a really weird one because
oh, I'm so excited about this.
Yeah. So Gillian Anderson.
Yes.
We're big fans.
Made everyone gay, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at the time I had just watched The Fall and Stella Gibson. So my ship, and I got into this by reading other people who'd written some really amazing fanfics first with Stella and Scully, which is incestuous if you think about it, that they're played by the same actress, but on paper, one is a redheaded American and the other one is a blonde Brit, and they're really not the same person at all.
You can do whatever you want in fanfiction.
It's fanfiction.
There are no rules.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my thing. I wrote some Mulder Scully as well.
Do you have, do you like to read fan fiction? Do you have a favorite fandom to read?
Well, those were my fandoms.
Yeah.
And that was like right after like the second revival season of the X-Files had aired, and I was like active in the X-Files. I've always been a fangirl. Like fandoms have always been like huge in my life and where I've like made friends, and so I was huge into the X-Files fandom at that time, and that was what I was mostly reading and writing. I don't know how I missed getting into fan fiction like way back in the day, because I was a huge fangirl since like forever, and I was into the X-Files like toward the end of its original run. It should have clued me in at the time that like everyone was like devastated when Mulder left, and I was like, but Scully.
I don't care. I'm not here for him.
Scully's still here. We're good.
But Scully, and like, man, was she hot in like the last couple of seasons. So yeah. So, but some, and I was even on some like old X-Files like message boards like in the late 90s when I was in college. But like, I don't know, somehow I missed out on fan fiction because I used to write just for fun, like stories that I never published. So I would have loved fanfic if I had found it then, but somehow I missed it.
I found fan fiction when I was in college in the early 2000s, and it was a website. It wasn't AO3. I found that later, but it was a website devoted to nothing but Willow and Tara fan fiction from Buffy. Because Buffy was my fandom at the time of choice, and the amount of, if I'd have put as much time into my studies as I put into reading Willow and Tara fan fiction, I would have probably been at a different place in my life.
That would have been the case for me if I had discovered it then. I will never know how I missed it, but somehow I did. But
yeah, I'm shocked that you hadn't found it before I told you about it.
Yeah, I had no idea about AO3, and it opened up a whole new world. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
I only write about Carol, though, because Kate Blanchett is my Gillian Anderson. So
yeah, well, I can see why. She is right up there.
Kate, honestly. Kate Winslet was my gay awakening in Titanic, and Kate Blanchett just,
seal the deal for you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, this has been so much fun.
It was
We really
fun.
appreciate you taking the time to talk to us.
Thanks so much for having me.
We're very excited about the next book, especially since we get to see a little bit of Audrey and Michelle again.
Yes. And we're excited about Margin of Error.
Yes. It's the first book I've written where it's both of their first time with a woman, so that was really fun.
I can't wait. That's going to be so great.
One more question, because we talked about this before, but we almost forgot. So this is the second book now set at this college. Do you have plans? Is this a thing now? Are we going to have like a little series? Or
my publisher tends to want like 2 books from me in sort of a world. So like I had the 2 like bookstore romances, and then I had the 2 celebrity romances, and then the 2 academia. And I can't really talk about what's next, but if there's going to be 2 books that are in a new world.
Okay.
But, you know, I love to do like Easter eggs and little tie-ins. I mean, probably every book I write now, there'll be like an Eden Sands song on the radio or something. You know?
Some reference to a female artist thrown in there somewhere.
It's just fun. It's super fun to do. Yeah. So
it did make me go Google a lot of female women artists.
I've heard a lot of people tell me that, and a lot of people have actually went and bought that book that I mentioned in the acknowledgments. It's called The Story of Art Without Men by Katie Hessel, and I read that whole thing like cover to cover as part of my research. It's like fascinating, not only to learn about female artists, but like sort of the things that were holding them back. Like back in the day, hundreds of years ago, like to make anything with art, like you had to attend these fancy like art schools, and women weren't even allowed entry. So like, you know, like just there's just a whole, and especially like gender non-conforming people, and like she gets into all of it in the book, and I just found it fascinating. So.
That is a nerd out for me waiting to happen.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna grab that
book. The whole book is full of like photos of all the art and stuff. I thought
one last thing that we Googled though, witch windows, that's a real thing?
It's a real thing. Yeah, I learned about it when I moved here. We've only been in Vermont for like 3 years. It's a real thing. I see them. I'll be out driving and I'll see one, and I'm like, what the hell is that? Why is their window like it's literally set like 45 degrees? There's some uncertainty as to like the meaning of them, like, but supposedly it's because they thought that witches couldn't fly through on their broomsticks. I guess we'll never know like for sure why they created them, but they're called witch windows, and I
love it.
You made Vermont sound very gorgeous. We already wanted to come visit, and now we want to come visit and see witch windows in person.
It is. It's really gorgeous. Just make sure what time of year you come, because we have some bad times.
We are born and bred in the South, so we're not.
Where are you? Where are you guys?
Huntsville, Alabama.
Rocket City.
I am actually getting ready to spend Thanksgiving in Utah, and I had to buy a jacket that was appropriate.
Yeah, I mean, we had just moved up from North Carolina about 3 years ago, and even down there anymore, it doesn't get that cold.
It's been bizarre. It's like still 80.
I'm in shorts right now.
Yeah, we've had snow already for like a good week.
Oh, goodness. All right. Well, again, thank you so much. This was lovely.
Thank you.
Really
it was really nice to chat with you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.